he carries around little packages, and he's got different flavors, kind of like I used to do with blow pops. He's got different flavors of throat lozenges, and they're like strawberry, cherry, watermelon, whatever. And he asks the station, okay, what one should we go with today for good luck or whatever? And they tell him he sticks that thing in his mouth and uses it as like a throat lozenge. He sucks on those during the game.
That's a good trick of the trade out
there.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty interesting.
You need to give us some for the year, huh?
Yeah.
A little extra incentive. All selfish, huh?
It shows that we're 1 minute from broadcast.
Yes,
and usually
seconds.
we're a little behind, so I bet we are live, but we'll know here shortly.
Yeah, we will. Hopefully that's a good spot. Once again, it's much better from the outside when Charlie runs it. Because you got to go through this tinted window, the net, and the dust in the air. So.
Yep.
How was work today?
It's good. Busy. Busy.
That's good.
All right. I think we are. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to No Mark Broadcasting's coverage of Eunice Cardinal Baseball, here live in what we're going to call No Mark Broadcasting's opening day broadcast, even though it's not really opening day. It is for us. It's our opening day. And so we're live here at Cardinal Stadium in a wintry, we'll call it a haboob, crazy weather day here. I went to work this morning. It was kind of nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful weather in the morning.
Probably mid-60s.
I concur.
Partly cloudy, calm. Went into the office. Didn't get a lunch break today. Had too many cases. Was straight through. Came out after lunch, after everything was going on, and it looked like this.
And you thought it was winter storm blew in.
I'm telling you, craziness. This evening, the 18-time 2A state champion Eunice Cardinals will host district and Lee County rival JAL here in the opening game for the Cardinals, thank you, ma'am, of the annual Eunice Cardinal Classic.
State champs.
That's right, the defending state champs. Eunice enters tonight's contest coming off a 26-1 season 1 year ago and their 18th, a New Mexico record 18th state baseball championship. It was a state championship season for the Cardinals. Looks like we're good. I'm just getting messages from the station saying that they have video, so I'm hoping they have more than video.
We're all good here.
That's right. So this Cardinal team lost some key players from last season, including senior Zeke Benton, Gio Chacon, Julius Woods, Micah Tippett, Jose Gomez, Conager Pierce, Sean Stinson, Adon Ornales, Marcus Tricero, Jorge Ontiveros, and Angel Gomez. Several of those young men are now participating in college baseball, and we wish them the best. However, here in Eunice, they don't rebuild their baseball teams. They simply reload them suckers. Returning from last season are Jonathan Caballero, Braylon Jeter, Brady Colburn, Aiden Pender, Billy Blevins, Chance Tucker, Fernando Serna, and so many others. This team lost a lot of seniors last year, but I will tell you, they have a great chance to be very competitive again this year and chase another state championship. They jumped out to a start last week on the road in Alpine, Texas. Eunice lost 5-6 in that game after a 4 or 5 hour bus ride down to the border. They were missing several key players who had just come off a Final 8 state basketball tournament appearance. Eunice picked up a huge win with all players present just a few days ago against an extremely tough New Mexico Military Institute team. They won that game 7-6. This evening, Eunice will get things started here in the legendary Cardinal Classic, an annual tournament that is always a great start to the Eunice baseball season here in Eunice. They will be facing district rival JAL. JAL enters tonight's game 2-4 on the season. Looking at their scores so far this it appears they've been struggling. However, I would guess they were probably missing half their team too, as the Jow boys made a deep run into the state basketball tournament as well. Jow has really struggled here so far early in the season. They are, as I said, 2-4. They've been outscored 117 runs to 20 so far in the season. So they've struggled to put runs on the board, and they've given up tons so far. They lost to a JV team 17-1. They lost to Crane, Texas 24-0. They lost to Wink 12-11. They lost to a Midland private school 18-1. And they had 2 wins in a doubleheader against Mescalero, where they won the first game 28-1 and then won the second game 18-17. So the one common denominator, I would say, in all these Jow games is they're giving up an average of about almost 20 runs per game so far this season.
That's a lot early in the season.
Yes, yes. Speaking of returners, I believe this team, this Eunice team, has 3 returning starters from last year that I could see just kind of scanning through the roster real quick before I got up here. Chance Tucker played a big role in last year's state championship game. He pitched, he played some short, did a lot of different things. He kind of moved around wherever they needed him. He returns. Jonathan Caballero, who played second and short more than probably anywhere else, he returns. And pitcher Fernando Cerna, who started some games last year on the hill for the Cardinals. Those 3 returned. A few other players return who saw significant playing time last year, but those 3 saw some varsity starting time for the Cardinals. So that's kind of my rundown here as we're getting ready to get started. Rosendo, have you got to watch this team play so far this year?
The Eunice, yes, sir. I got to see them play in Alpine. They looked very good, but the first game of the season they were kind of sluggish, trying to get back in the groove. And just the night on Tuesday evening when they played against the NIMI school, they looked very good, very sharp, still kind of rusty in certain spots. You know how it is when the season starts, kind of working through some things. So hopefully tonight they can hit ground running, you can say.
Yeah, I'm excited and ready to get this going. This is kind of a strange baseball night to me. You know, I grew up playing baseball. It's kind of funny because baseball was probably my first love of sports. Most people don't realize that, especially here in Eunice, because I've become attached to basketball. However, there's a reason for that. In the gym, you walk over, and if it's a little too cold, you turn the thermostat to, say, 70 or 75 or wherever you want it. You can't do that out here. You're just kind of at the mercy of the great man up above. And so today he decided he was going to turn the thermostat down and turn the big fan up. And it's cold, and the wind's windy, blowing, dirt dusty. Blowing. And so I'm just glad we got a press box and we're not like in Texaco where they stuck me out in left field one game and they were hitting foul balls at me the whole time. So anyway, pretty interesting night here. Earlier tonight, I was texting back and forth with the station. So they've got us. They said the sound sounds good and we're going. So
guess I should have told you. I apologize. They sent me a text.
Yeah, they said they sent it to you, but that's all right. No problem. So anyway, we're ready to get started here. Both teams out there warming up. It's going to take them a little longer than usual because it's going to be hard to get warm.
Oh man, they can't take their jackets off; they'll freeze.
Yeah, they'll be out there shivering and whatnot.
But they're young and they can push through it. That's a good thing about that age. Nothing hurts.
That is true. This Eunice team, quick rundown of the roster that we've been handed here today, and so I'm going to run down this one. Starting for the Cardinals today will be batting number 1 will be Alfredo Morales. He will be playing left field. He's number 10. Number 4 for the Cardinals, Jonathan Caballero. He'll be batting second and playing shortstop. Number 9, Chance Tucker will be catching. He'll be number 9 this year. Number 20, Bubba Cerna will be batting cleanup. He'll be playing second base. Number 8, Billy Blevins will be playing center field, and he'll be batting 5th. And Pender will bat in the 7th spot. He'll be pitching to start this ball game. Number 5, Braylon Jeter. He'll be batting in the 8th spot, playing third base. And number 1, Tyson Coy will be batting in the 9th spot and playing right field. Also on this Cardinal team, listed here, they have number 2, Dyson Lord, number 3, Luis Zamora, Number 6, Brady Colburn, and number 19, Isaac Morales.
They have a real young team. They have a couple of freshmen right now, like Tyson Coy. He's been starting, and he's been doing a great job out there in the field, hitting the ball, fielding the ball, very good for being a freshman. And those underclassmen, like Billy came straight from basketball on Tuesday evening. He scored the winning run. He went up there. He was 0-4, and on the fourth bat, he walked. I mean, his mama was so happy, and she was surprised herself. But he made it all the way to third, and Jeter came in with the hit.
Wow!
Brought him in. Now the winning run. So that shows you how strong that lineup is for Eunice. They're young. They only have a couple of seniors on it, but they're seasoned, you can say.
Yep, yeah, and so should be exciting. They're out at home plate right now doing the tip or flip or whatever they do in baseball.
Getting ready, chatting out there, swapping stories.
Getting ready to get started. Quick rundown on the Jowl side. Batting in the leadoff spot will be Connor, and I have it as Andre. Connor Andre, the senior. Batting in the second spot, Damian Baeza. He's number 8. He'll be playing left field. Trent Butts will be catching for Jow. He's in the 3 spot. The cleanup will be Eric Lopez. He'll be playing third base. Batting 5th is Daniel Herrera. He'll be playing first. Number 24, Alex Xavier Carrion is who I have as that number. The print was a little hard to read, but I have him playing shortstop. I did not see him over there, but maybe we'll figure it out here in a second.
That's the taller kid, right?
Yeah, the big.
Yeah, he was there.
Was he? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Batting in the 7 spot is number 15, Christian Diaz. He'll be pitching to start this ball game. Batting in the 8 spot is Sebastian Arroyo. He'll be playing second base. And batting in the last spot, number 9, will be number 3 on his jersey, Luke Gwynn, and he'll be playing right field.
Luke Gwynn.
That's right. Not to be confused with Luke Skywalker.
I am your father.
Yep, that's right. I hope he's not the Eunice father here in just a minute. So
there's actually a decent crowd for having this bad weather.
Man,
I'm counting like 30, 40, 50 people out there.
It's absolutely nuts out there, that is for sure. So both teams look like they're heading back to their huddle, whatever they do. They're heading back to their dugout. Looks like we even got the picture-taking guy out there walking around with his camera on his shoulder.
And Jack comes out sporting some new uniforms, I believe.
Right,
that's old school right there.
They're looking yellow.
Yeah, they're looking yellow. No pun intended, right?
That's right. So both teams headed out onto the field, getting ready to get started here. I'm going to do a quick shout-out to some sponsors, and I'll be honest with you, the station has not got me the list of sponsors for baseball yet. They're usually fairly much, the same, so I'm going to read the ones that I have. Eunice Wrecker and Rental, Parker Energy Services, Eunice Pump and Supply, Eunice Health Clinic, Cardinal Hardware and Lumber, Eunice Public Schools, Outlaw Grill, the City of Eunice, Redbird Gas, and I'm going to go with those because that's what I have here on my piece of paper.
Man, that's a small list. I'm about to say them twice in commercials.
Our getting ready to say or have the national anthem. We'll send it over for our own national anthem here if I can get my phone going. Or no, we'll send it over for a word from our sponsors. You're listening to No Mark Broadcasting's coverage of Eunice Cardinal Sports.
Lasco Construction is a proud partner in education in Lee County. Lasco Construction is your hometown construction company. Lasco Construction encourages you and business owners to support Tatum, Jow, Lovington, Eunice, and Hobbs businesses. Buy as much as you can locally, which is why Lasco Construction always supports the youth of Lee County. Lasco Construction supports you. Call 393-9161 for all your construction needs. Support your community.
Eunice has a friendly small-town atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles' new office hours are Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. No testing on Friday. Eunice, a friendly small town with a wonderful community and amenities. The Eunice Clinic is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. Go Cardinals! You're the pride of Eunice. The Eunice Health Clinic offers many of the same basic services that many local physicians provide. They specialize in sick care for all ages, women's exams, physicals, health education, lab tests, and diagnostic studies. They're proud supporters of athletic and academic events. The Eunice Health Clinic is proud to back the Cardinals. Go Cards!
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to No Mark Broadcasting's coverage of Eunice Cardinal baseball, here live from Eunice Cardinal Field. In Eunice, the 18-time defending state champions taking the field here in the late night game of the Cardinal Classic here.
29th anniversary, I apologize.
All right.
29th anniversary of the Cardinal Classic here.
Earlier today, I was advised that Texaco got the one-run win. So for those of you, I know there were some people asking earlier how Texaco had done. They won their first game by 1 run. In the game right before this one, Kermit beat Hatch by a run.
By 1, correct.
And then in the early morning game, Hobbs JV beat somebody. Who did they beat?
I have no
Not
idea.
sure.
I was sleeping still.
Gateway beat Hobbs. Okay, Gateway beat Hobbs. So anyway, it's kind of a rundown on who was what and where they were. And
Well
so
played today, right?
Yeah. So both teams out here warming up, getting ready to get started.
They're warming up as best as they can out there. I mean, I feel from all the players have long sleeves on except the pitcher.
Yeah, it's a cold day here in Cardinal Country.
Hoping that wind would kind of calm down a little bit, but it didn't. It's still blowing 90 miles an hour. And it's blowing from the north to the southwest, you could say, according to that flag, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's kind of the opposite of normal. It's usually going this way. Yeah,
blowing in. So.
Yeah, so that's kind of I guess you would call it a northeasterly wind, as it's blowing from the northeast.
It's gonna blow that cold front in right tomorrow.
Yeah, it's here.
Do you think the press box is full today? Wait until tomorrow. What's the raffle tickets and people in here?
Yeah, that is for sure. So our signal is coming and going. So if those of you back home are struggling,
correction on the game: Hobbs did beat Gateway.
Hobbs did beat Gateway.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, appreciate
I'm getting
that.
information from also loud. So
yeah.
Bear with me if I tap you on your shoulder.
All right, so here we go. First batter up to the plate, Connor Andres. He's up there. He swings and misses at the first. That'll make strike number 1.
Good job there by the Eunice pitcher.
Do that thing.
Yes, sir. Figured this thing out here. That's strike number 1. There it is.
All right, so here we go. Pinder back on the mound. He kicks and fires it right down the middle, and they call the strike. It was a delayed call strike. Almost went to sleep waiting on it, but
his hand is frozen. His hand is frozen. He's warming up.
So 0-2 at the count. Pinder on the hill. But you moved on to the first 2 bats. That they work in there. Probably sells a little feed store out there.
He does.
He's keeping him warm. He's got a vest, hoodie, a hat. Quick out to some operations and whatnot as far as comparison with him. Charlie. That's right. We get out some weather and get that in here and get a good camera. We need to get healthy. It looks better than I thought it was going to. I gotta admit, I say when I think I'm right, and I say when I think I'm wrong. I was probably wrong.
Probably because of the wind, and it's hard to go through the glass. And I'll try to zoom out a little bit, see if it helps.
Yeah, no, it's probably the
cloud
signal.
As well.
Yeah, because we're in and out of service.
We apologize to the viewers.
Yeah.
To the audio and the vision of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough because we got to go through the glass, through the net.
Well, it's not this; it's the signal. Yeah, it's the signal that we're struggling with. So those of you back home, as we mentioned, we ran into the same problems at Cardinal Football Stadium this year. The cell signal's just not very good. There's a high fly ball there by Alfredo Morales, going to be caught by the pitcher.
Out number 1.
Out number 1. So Alfredo Morales, the left fielder, he's number 10. He flies out on the first pitch thrown to the Cardinals.
As a leadoff batter, you got to see a few pitches on either team that we can feel the pitcher.
So Jonathan Caballero steps into the right-handed batter's box. He's number 4. He's playing shortstop. He's in there. That first pitch is It
strike.
was about a 3-second delay. It was even a bigger delay than we have on our broadcast.
Yeah, and that catcher had to stand up and catch it, and that catcher was about 6'1".
So here comes, I think, the next pitch. Maybe.
Yeah.
One of these days. There we go. Here comes the next pitch. It's in there, swung on, hit over toward third base. Third baseman scoops it up, fires it, but they threw it to, what is that dang thing called over there? My baseball
batting cage.
brain.
The batting cage. Batting
There
cage,
we
yes,
go.
sir. I can't see it from this corner. I was watching the runner advance. I apologize.
So Caballero goes all the way to third base, and once again, we are struggling with signal as we only have 2 of our 3 lights, which is not good for us on our broadcast.
That's a beautiful job. Aggressive running there by John.
So Caballero standing at third. There's a high foul ball driven back over into somebody's vehicle. They'll have a good dent in it. Coach McBee's truck got a good dent in it earlier. I parked right beside him, ran in here to bring the equipment, and when I come back out, he had a big dent in his car.
He took that hit for you. I know
yes,
he did.
Yes, he did.
That's 1 strike, no balls here.
So this is Chance Tucker at the plate. He steps in there. He's ready. Here comes the pitch. It's driven high toward right field, just behind first base. It is a high ball, and it's underhand catch for the first baseman. That's Daniel Herrera.
That's very impressive there by that young man. He did a 360, came back out of play and caught it kind of like kind of off his chest into his glove. That's pretty impressive there.
Yeah, that was pretty tough for sure. So Bubba Cerna comes in batting in the cleanup spot. He's number 20, playing second base. Pitching for Jow is Diaz. He blows that first one by him for strike number 1.
Here's Eunice in the bottom of the first with 2 outs, runner on third, and Jow is leading the game 1-0.
Cerna at the plate in that right-handed batter's box. He's ready. Diaz with the pitch. He kicks and fires. That ball's driven high and deep towards center field. Center fielder, left fielder both calling each other off. They missed the ball, and so that's going to score Caballero, and all the way to second is going to be Bubba Cerna.
Smart job there on Bubba, running all the way even though they had 2 outs. But once again, you got to play that win out there.
Yeah. So he'll get an
RBI.
error second out of it with an RBI.
And the score is 0-0 here, or 1-1, but pretty much 0-0.
So that'll bring Billy Blevins to the plate. Blevins steps in. Cerna on second. We've got a tie ball game now, 1-1. Here comes the pitch. It's driven hard towards center field. Oh, the center fielder stepped over it, kind of curved and got hung up in that wind, kind of like a slice in golf, and the wind blowing against it held it up enough to get that center fielder under it. So Blevins flies out or lines out to center.
That's something we need to adjust if we can, hitting the ball on the ground or long driving it.
Yep. So just like that, we're through the first inning. We'll move into the top of the second. Quick shout out to sponsors: Eunice Wrecker and Rental, Devon Energy. Yeah, we've just struggled with when we have to run off our the little box thing there. It's basically a hotspot service that runs through a cell phone signal. And when we've had to run off the cell phone signal in Eunice this year, it's been bad. It was bad in football.
Against Jow?
Yeah, well, every game.
Yeah.
It was bad in volleyball. It was bad in basketball at the beginning until we ran the hard line, and then we didn't have to run off the internet or the phone service anymore. And here we are in our first game of baseball of the season, and most of the game we've been missing a light, which means we're struggling to get a signal.
And I bet we can probably get the hard line running here with this being here. A very good chance.
Yeah, maybe they're going to have to put like a router box or something in here to do it. But yeah, I think it's possible.
I think I know some people.
Yeah, I'm hoping we do. We know a guy named Drew Reynolds out there that runs around and does stuff like this all day for the school. So we'll have to see if he can help us.
Put some pressure on him, huh?
Yes, sir. So stepping into the box here is, I believe that's Daniel Herrera. He's been playing first base for Jow. That first pitch is right on the outside corner for Pender. This umpire has got like these delayed calls that leave me sitting here going, for like a good second or two afterwards. But strike one for Pender.
It's a long delay.
There's the next pitch. Big breaking ball that comes through, and I'm waiting on that delayed call, and I don't think we're going to get it. So
we'll give him like a 10-second delay call. No, 10 seconds go by, it's a ball. 1-1.
So Herrera steps back in there, 1-1 the count. There's a nice pitch right down the middle, and that's a delayed called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yes, sir. You are correct.
So we've got 3 lights again now. So for those of you that are losing us in and out, our apologies. Our service is just not good.
Oh, beautiful breaking
And
ball.
there is a breaking ball, strike 3. Another K for Pender. That's 3 Ks so far in this game. And
that batter went down looking. He didn't even try the swing. The young man looked confused and dazed up there. That curveball's doing his job tonight.
So Alexavier Carrion steps into the box for the Panthers. He was the quarterback for this Panther football team that won a state championship this year. He swings and misses at the first pitch.
You're up there hacking, huh?
He's playing shortstop here. He's another one of those that just came off the basketball team. A good athlete. His older brother is the one that's up there playing at Boise, Roger. So Pender with the pitch, and he blows that one right past Carrion for strike number 2. 0-2 is the count. I think Pender has had an 0-2 count on almost every batter he's faced, with the exception of maybe the guy that knocked one over
Mr.
left
Butts?
a while ago. Yeah.
Yes, sir. There it is.
Big breaking ball, swung on, driven deep toward left field. It's in the wind, all the way back to the wall. It skips off the wall, picked up out there and left by Alfredo, and he swings it back in or throws it back in. And so a stand-up double by Carrion.
Yeah, 2 strikes on him, and that breaking ball stayed a little bit high. And you got a hold of it. And once you get it high enough in the air, that wind's going to take care of it for you.
Well, and probably on a normal day, that's a ball that's caught middle left field.
Maybe even shortstop.
But that wind is heaving that direction, and it just sat up there in the wind and worked its way all the way to the wall.
Yeah. And you can see the fielder chasing it, and going.
Number 15, Christian Diaz. He's the pitcher for the Panthers. He takes strike 1. It's 0-1 here. We've got a bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
That's his first pitch inside for Pender. Everything's been outside and curveball.
A lot of 1s on that scoreboard over there. Here comes the pitch from Pender, and it is just a bit outside.
I thought he was going to call a strike there, huh?
2 balls, 1 strike. I just saw like a big cloud of dirt just blow across the field.
Probably somebody pulled up to the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pender back on the hill. He kicks and fires. That swung on and missed. Christian Diaz swings at strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
I'll get this right eventually. Too many buttons on here.
Pender back on the hill. Takes the signal from his catcher. That's Tucker. Shakes him yes. Kicks, fires. Swung
Beautiful
on
pitch.
and missed for strike number 3. And that is 4 Ks already in this ball game.
Doing a beautiful job, and I like what second base and shortstop are doing, trying to keep that runner on second, playing with him, getting in front of him, which is legal. And Pender's taking care of him as well when he looks back at him and still throwing strikes.
So Sebastian Arroyo comes to the plate. He's playing second base for Jal. Pender on the hill, kicks and fires. There's a ball that's hit high up above the pitcher.
Somebody call it, somebody call it, somebody call it.
Nobody going to get to it. Nobody called it. Everybody was debating over you got it, I got it. Nobody got it. Ball hits the turf. It's going to be an error reached on base there.
I'll tell you something, that number 5, Jeter, that's his kryptonite, hot pop flies.
Oh, yeah.
Every game I've seen him, he's missed 2 or 3 of them so far.
Right, so back up on the hill is Pender. Luke Gwynn on the hill. He's playing right field for the Panthers. Here's the pitch. It swung on, hit over toward short. Shortstop comes in, scoops it up, flips it over to second.
He was safe. That young man pulled his leg off 5 minutes before he even got there. He was safe.
Man, we got away with one there.
By golly. Whoa.
So, yeah, even the Eunice faithful out here motioning for safe.
If I was that kid's parent, I'd run out there. You know what? Put your foot down. Good Lord, that kid was safe.
Yes. So,
Anyways.
just like that, it's a 1-1 ball game, and we head to the bottom of the second. Quick shout-out to our sponsors, Eunice Wrecker and Rental, Parker Energy Services, Eunice Pump and Supply, Eunice Health Clinic, Carter Eunice Public School, Outlaw Group, City Gas, Redbird Gas, and
Yes, sir. The I mean, that last call. And once again, these players are playing different positions. They're kind of learning as it. They're older kids, but something like that, routine ground out, pulled his leg off too.
We're saying they were going to beat the record that had been held by Hobbs on win streaks. They got beat in the championship game by Fort Sumner, who we saw in the last couple of weeks play us here in Eunice. And so Fort Sumner upset Magdalena in the 1A Boys Championship. So pretty interesting.
That's nice.
Yeah. So
bring that down south a little bit, right, the trophy?
Absolutely. Our cheerleaders are on the road as they will be competing tomorrow in Albuquerque in the state cheer and dance type competition. And so best of luck to them. We hope they do well. It's neat to see our cheerleaders out competing in that type of situation. I like it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is their first year they've been competing like that, correct?
Yeah, at least in a long time.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
So headed to the plate here is Jose Calvillo, the lefty. On the hill for Jow, as we mentioned earlier, is Christian Diaz. And so Calvillo takes the first pitch outside for ball one.
You remember Calvillo was a crazy kamikaze, you remember?
Man, in basketball, he sure was.
He's a playmaker out there in basketball.
I was looking today at Max Preps. They have him listed as a sophomore. Is that right?
Unless he failed a couple of times.
Man, that's a big kid. That is
his
a
first time?
Big boy for a sophomore. I walk by him and tell him yes, sir, when I see him. He drives a ball over there into right field, and it's caught by the second baseman as once again it got into that wind, got held up. So Calvillo with a fly out to right.
You got to stay on top of the ball there. So it's one out.
So Calvillo heads over to the dugout. Once again, the score's 1-1. We're in the bottom of the second. One out now. That'll bring up Aiden Pender. Pender pitching for the Cardinals. He drives that one right toward the gap. Shortstop picks it up, throws it hard.
Oh, he made it there.
And Pender beats the throw over to first, so he gets an infield single.
Talk about helping yourself there as a pitcher. Did a beautiful job there, running it all the way through.
He must get that running ability from, like, Grandpa or something, because I don't know who else in the family runs like that. It's got to be Grandpa. I don't.
We're going to have a courtesy runner talking about running for him.
Yeah. So we send a courtesy runner over. Who is that?
That is number 8. That is Brady.
Brady Colburn?
Yes, sir.
Number 6, maybe?
Yes, sir.
All right. So headed to the right-handed batter's box is Braylon Jeter. Jeter steps in there ready. There goes the runner. He's headed over, and Jow misplays the throw.
Why is he holding his helmet? Let it fall off, son. What's he doing?
His ears get cold. It's cold out there.
It don't matter. We need him on second.
Well, yeah, but if he gets there and he's got froze ears, he might
not hear the next play, right?
There you go. He might not hear the call. Except that's why they do them signals.
Either way, that was a balk. The young man did not come off the rubber. So he stepped through it to first, so that was a balk either way.
Yeah, so I don't know why, but there's a discussion going between the ump and
that's what Coach Drew's probably telling him, because he did not. You got to step off with your back leg.
Mm-hmm. I can't see that far to know what his back leg did. He may have been doing the stanky leg with his back leg for all I know. But anyway, so Jeter back in that box. And here comes the pitch. He swings and drives it high over the shortstop. Nobody's going to get to it, and it lands right in between four Panthers. Headed over to third is a sliding Colburn, and he's in there safe. And Jeter goes all the way.
Aggressive job running all the way on Jeter's part as well.
Yeah, well, in my book, which these aren't official, but we'll give him a double out of that error. So
I like how you said it, a double out of that error.
Yeah, it landed right in between the four Jow players. They all stood there and looked at it.
Kind of looked like our infield a minute ago.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So runner at second and third. We've got one out. Tyson Coy comes up. It's cold out there. He may need to borrow his daddy's little overall heated.
Oh, man, that young man he's young. He ain't feeling nothing right now. He's playing baseball.
So he steps up, playing right field here today. It's Tyson. He's in there ready. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, drove right back toward me. I thought it was 3D for a second. It looked like it was going to get me right between the eyes.
You got a text from Uncle. And the answer is no, sir. He's not playing tonight. It's just varsity.
You know, they have him listed on the varsity because you're talking about Tyson?
Yes.
Yeah. I printed out the varsity roster that Drew has uploaded into MexPreps, and it had him on there, but then it's got several people that aren't on this list that they brought me here tonight. So there's a high fly foul ball coming right back over the top of us. I expected to hear a bang, and it never happened.
I think what he does with that, Coach, he alternates them as need them. You know what I'm saying? If he needs to put them in here, we got some bodyguards behind us just carrying the wall at me.
Right.
My wallet's missing. I don't know who they are. But.
So no balls, 2 strikes here, 1 out. We've got a 1-1 ball game. Coy steps back in there. He's ready. The pitcher for Jow is Diaz. He kicks and fires one down the outside. It's going to be a ball. And then we've got Brady playing a little game with him over on third base.
We got runners on scoring position. We just need to hit a gap out there.
Yep.
Keep it out of the air. Got
the mayor there. He's getting him some TV time. That's him putting his hood on. He needs to trim that beard up a little bit, get a little edge up on him. There's a drive over toward first. Scooped up, looking for first. They throw over toward first. It gets there in time. An RBI. Fielder's single.
Job good. They kind of hesitated the runners.
Into the batter's box. Jonathan Caballero singled in his first at bat. He steps up in there and he's ready. That ball's inside. The runner heads over, and the catcher underhanded it back to the pitcher just in case, I guess.
Can we call it attempt to throw down?
Maybe. He bounced it. Caballero headed back into the right-handed batter's box. Morales standing on second. Takes the big lead already. Big fire is driven. Goodness. That was headed over to Senator that-a-way.
Oh, yeah, keep your hands back, son.
All right, so Diaz rocks, fires. There's another drive over down the left field line.
The law just showed up.
Yep.
Must be playing jail.
Jonathan, gotta slow them hands down a little bit.
The count is 2 strikes, 1 ball. We're on second. Score is 3-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
And we're struggling for service here. Here's the pitch. Man, he hit another one over there. If he didn't get all of Gallegos' windows with that first one, windows getting knocked out of his house over there.
We call the Rosie Law.
So Jonathan steps back in there. He's ready. Oh, there goes another one. He hit another one over there. Speaking of Gallegos, there's a Gallegos. Well, she's probably going over to check the windows on that house as he just hit another one over there. Man, he has hit like 4 pitches this at bat that have all went straight that way.
And the umpire already ran out of baseballs.
So he's back in there, runner at second. He is on the hill. He kicks and fires. That ball hits him in the chin, and that'll send him over to third base.
They're saying it did hit, so they're going to send back to second.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the 4th time so far already this season.
Yeah. Anybody wants some baseballs, just go over and look behind Gallegos' house. There's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them over there. The Eunice players need to slow down a little bit. We're used to a little bit faster pitching, but you got to hit the ball in front of you, boys.
So Tucker steps back in there.
Strike 1.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. We got a 3-1 ball game on the scoreboard. Diaz kicks, fires. That ball's driven hard, man. If he straightens that out, it would have been out of here.
It hasn't landed yet, has it?
It's over the left field fence wall out there, and it is. But it's on the outside.
They got them poor subs out there chasing balls.
Man,
hope they have a helmet on. Get hit.
Yeah. Their heads will look like McBee's truck here in a minute. So here goes Tucker stepping back in again.
Oh, breaking ball.
Big breaking ball, and it gets in, and they rung him up on that one. That'll be a K for Diaz, and that'll send the Cardinals into the field at the end of 2. It's 3-1, Eunice in the lead.
That was tough right there. Eunice had people on base. It was a good opportunity to score, but we didn't. So, oh well, on to the top of the 3rd. Shout out to our sponsors. Let me have this list real quick, sir. Shout out to our sponsors, Eunice Record and Rentals, Parker Energy Service, Eunice Pump and Supply, Eunice Health Clinic, Cardinal Hardware and Lumber, Eunice Public Schools, Outlaw Grill, City of Eunice, Redbird Gas, and Devon Energy. our proud list to have.
Oh, there we go. I've got several people telling me the game freezes and comes and goes. And like I said, it's all service. The Hobbs did beat Gateway 9-0.
Good.
It's funny because last year we didn't have near the problems with cell phone service, but like you said, even that's my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And even it's got the little wheel of death or circle of death going. We've struggled with cell phone service down here for the broadcast.
And the wind doesn't help at all either.
No. Yeah, we really need to see if we can get Drew down here to run a hard line in this box so that we can
put a window in there.
Because we haven't had that problem even in jail. We didn't have that problem running out the.
We didn't.
But we've had it here for sure.
AT&T, right? And Jow has great AT&T service.
Yeah, that may be.
Yeah, we don't have that good AT&T service. We have good Verizon service.
Right.
Because you have Verizon service, right? Your service here.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it looks like Eunice has got warmed up. They're ready to go. Pender's still on the hill. You got my little thing?
Oh, I apologize. I took
That's
this
all right.
one. I was looking at the sponsors.
All right. In this game so far, Pender's got 4 Ks. He heads back to the hill here.
He's taking care of business when he gets up there.
So for Jal, trying to see who that is. Who's batting?
Left-handed batter. Got that. I'm not going to lie to you. It's number 2.
Number 2. Number 2 is Connor Andre.
That's the first ball.
He steps in there and he's ready. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's crazy only he has a bat glove in the wrong hand.
Yeah, that keeps that other hand warm. There's a swing, a pop, little chopper over towards second. Second baseman fires a rocket.
Forever.
Man, he held it, hesitated, pump faked again, and then fired a 120-mile-an-hour rocket over there.
And as long as I can remember, that's Fernando Cerner, a.k.a. Bubba. He normally plays short and third.
Mm-hmm.
And the catcher normally plays short and Jonathan plays second. So everybody's kind of getting these new groove, new spots. And they don't realize, man, the runners get there pretty fast coming from second.
So that'll bring Baeza up to the, and the, what was the?
The ref went out there and told him, "You're a handsome young man."
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know what he had to tell him.
He said, "You look like your grandpa."
Yeah. Whoever he is.
So.
Tell him he owes me some money.
So Pender back on the hill. Batter Baeza showing bunt. The infield was charging in, then he knocked the ball right past the charging infielder, and he's going to get a single out of that deal.
So it's legal to do fake slash bunts now? I thought that was illegal.
I thought you could do that. You can't do it?
I thought it was illegal a couple of years ago, but
really,
I could be. Where's Charlie at? He's our usually guy to go to figure this stuff out.
We need Heath Dean up here. He's usually the one that tells me to not say things that are going to jinx the team. And
we had Jared Glad in here earlier. He knows a lot about it too.
Yeah, he's probably out there running around. I don't know. I never heard of that being illegal, but
I thought it was. I might be just making it up.
Well,
Calvillo just stared at him.
We throw back over toward first. Calvillo thought about stepping on him. But
did you see how you're looking at him? Like, what are you doing? Quit touching my shoes.
Like, you go eat your cornbread. All right. I thought he was going to do it. I was like, he's done now. But he decides he'll get back over on first.
They threw it over again towards first, and Calvillo misses it, and the ball hit him. Hit the runner. I don't know if that was intentionally or by accident.
So stepping back in there is Butts. And Butts, the last time he was up, drove a ball over the left field fence. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first, that's Baeza. He's got him a big lead. He's thinking about it. There's a swing and a miss by Butts.
Strike number 2.
You know, one thing that's different, and I'm sure Tucker's a great catcher, but last year we had Conager Pierce back there, and it was like we dared people to steal a base.
He encouraged them, huh?
That guy had a cannon from back there, and Butts goes down swinging, strike 3.
Beautiful job there, Anthony. Aiden came back and took care of him. He said, "Nope, no more home runs for me."
Yep. He said, "You may have hit a home run that last time, Butts. You're getting struck out this time." All right, so Eric Lopez heads to the batter's box. He's ready to go. 2 outs, runner on first. That ball's just a bit high. for ball number 1.
I had to wait to make sure because I thought it was called a strike.
Me too. That's why I hesitated. I was like, all right. So Pender back on the hill. He's ready. Takes the signal. Looks like we just got a signal again on our box, so we're jumping in and out. And there's a check swing. Strike number 2. Nope.
No,
Strike
it's
number 1.
1-1.
I'm sorry.
Walk of the game for Mr. Pender.
Yep.
Here we are at the top of the 3rd, correct?
Yes, sir. So this is Daniel Herrera, number 30. He's been playing first base for the Panthers. He struck out in his first at bat. There's a foul right over toward us. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here. We got a 3-1 ball game. We're at the top of the 3rd, I believe.
I agree. It's a nice cold night. Wind don't stop blowing. I don't feel nothing in here, do you?
I know that we've lost our signal again, it looks like. So probably nobody's hearing us. We're just talking to ourselves, but that's okay because I'm used to that.
Yeah. Nobody listens to us anyway. Right?
That ball's fouled back over. 0-2.
That's crazy how many cell phones we had to buy, huh? So we got rating to go up.
That's right. Try to go home and tell my wife, hey, plug in all the tablets,
The computers.
the TVs.
Call your mom and dad.
That's
Call your cousins, uncles.
That way it looks like we have a lot of viewers. I will say for basketball this year, that ball's...
Ooh, that's a beautiful. It was called
Oh, he
strike 3.
struck him out.
Yes, sir, he did.
It's a called strike 3 to Herrera. And, Billy play, and she's like, it keeps freezing. I can't see nothing. And so our apologies.
And I've got to stay at home and see that, and it gets frustrating after
Oh,
a
it
while.
does. People will just turn it off,
Yeah.
or they'll ask, hey, will you guys FaceTime live the game and that sort of thing. And so, yeah, I get it. For sure. So here we go.
That's ball 1 on Bubba.
1 ball, no strikes to Bubba Cerna. That pitch is inside. So 2 balls, no strikes. Cerna in his last at bat had a fly double RBI. I don't know what the heck I wrote there, but that's what my notes say.
Once again, we get back to you guys.
It's going to take me a while to get used to my baseball notes and slang.
And you're writing, huh?
That too.
1 BB, 1 CF.
You know, I think he called a delayed strike right there, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Counted 1 strike, 2 balls.
One, so 2 balls, 1 strike. And Cerna back in there. Here, he dropped that one right down the third base line, but it will be foul. So that evens it all up at 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And Cerna.
I remember what he did last time. Pop fly over here behind short in the ball fell. Oh, that was last inning, so it wasn't him.
So I've got, and like I said, my notes say fly double RBI. I don't know what the heck that means. I'm assuming he, ooh, man,
Good
he
hit.
almost took one in the belly.
Out there, you just turn it back. We need base runners. It'll hit you in the butt.
If he'd eat just a little bit more outlaw grill, he'd have got hit in the gut right there. If it had been me, I'd have got hit in the gut.
Not me. I'm okay.
So if it had been Charlie, Charlie'd have got hit in the gut because he'd had some nachos in his hand and wouldn't have moved out of the way. So here goes the pitch. That one swung on and missed for strike 3.
Route number 1.
So that's...
Got him on the breaking ball.
Yes.
And as Jow goes to throw the ball around, he kind of gets out towards second base on the outfield. Billy.
Billy Blevins heads to the line. The free throw line, going to shoot some free throws. Billy Blevins steps into that right-handed batter's box. Looks like we got a signal right now, so maybe Chloe's getting to watch.
Let's hope, right?
If not, she'll be mad at me.
It's Daddy's fault.
Here comes the pitch. That ball's driven foul right over into the parking lot. It'll put a little ding in your car. If you've got dents in your car, don't blame us. Blame Billy.
Park further away.
I always park over on the other side of the auditorium somewhere way over there. But
My cars ain't that nice, so I park right underneath the stands.
so Blevins back in there. Diaz on the hill for Jow. Kicks and fires toward Billy Blevins. He drives that one right back over us, and he's going to get another car. If your car's got dings in it, call the Blevins family.
He must have a auto body man, huh?
Mm-hmm. Blevins Auto Repair.
Probably at the lake somewhere.
Yeah.
I see him having a boat repair, not a body repair.
So Billy steps back in there. He's ready to go. 0-2 the count after 2 foul balls. Here comes the pitch. It's a high breaking ball. Oh, my goodness, and I guess it got back down.
It did. The catcher was confused. He came up. He's following the ball instead of staying set. So it's actually a good pitch.
So the catcher stood all the way up. They call strike 3. There.
Isn't that Mr. Butts?
I don't know, but I know the umpire looks gets driven. That's Calvillo. He heads over toward first. Second baseman bobbles.
Oh, he's there.
Around.
He's there. Oh,
they call him out. Well, I thought he
Man.
got there. Calvillo hustling down the line. He's called out.
To review that in a minute. Commercials. Man.
Calvillo headed across the mound, headed over after the called out at first base.
Second baseman bobbled the step. So, what do we do, right?
Yep.
What do we do, Mr. Jones, on this cold night?
So with that said, we got a 3-1 ball game. We'll move into the 4th here. And some sponsors. Let me give this other one over here.
Shout out to us.
Got my notes on that one. Yeah. I'll give you these. As I mentioned, I didn't get an updated sponsor list for this game, so I just took some of what I had and
traditional ones.
Yep.
Shout out to our sponsors: Eunice Wrecker and Rentals, Park Energy Service, Eunice Pump and Supply, Eunice Health Clinic, Cardinal Hardware and Lumber, Eunice Public Schools, Outlaw Grill, City of Eunice, Redbird Gas, and Devon Energy.
We weren't originally scheduled to do this game. It was we kind of threw it together at the last minute, and which I think is a good thing. But
yes, I concur.
I kind of threw it together at the last minute. So anyway, as we are moving into the top of the 4th, it's a 3-1 ball game. Eunice, we mentioned in our pregame the amount of runs. Jal's been giving up almost 20 runs a ball game. And we're here in the 4th, and they've been able to hold these Cardinal bats to 3 so far.
Yeah, and keep in mind it's also a rival game. It's Jal. I mean, yeah, Jal historically hasn't had a great baseball team, but this year they're kind of showing up here early. But there's still a lot of baseball left. So I'm happy with having the lead right now and keeping that lead.
So it looks like Pender's still on the hill. He's done a good job so far. I've got him at 6 Ks. My notes are not always
accurate.
Yeah, especially in baseball.
Legible.
And in basketball, I'd say they're pretty good. Football, they're usually pretty good.
Baseball.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, basketball's a long season, so we kind of get exhausted there too. So.
He steps in there. He's ready.
They got cheeseburger.
2 balls, 1 strike. So Tucker behind the plate gives the signal. Here comes the pitch. That one swung and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good pitch by Pender.
That way he come back. I hear you throw him that breaking ball.
Tucker looks like he's struggling to get comfortable sitting back there behind the plate. He kind of seems like he's uncomfortable back there. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. That's a big breaking ball, and it is. Oh, there we go. Man, the ump has this slow, delayed everything, and everybody in the stadium was looking at him, waiting on the call, and it was like,
The ball was already thrown around twice, and the umpire still didn't get a call.
And the crazy thing about it was we all pretty much knew what we thought, but you had a bunch of Eunice fans ready to holler at the ump if he called it a ball, and vice versa. I mean, finally he gave them the call, so they called that first pitch outside ball 1.
And that break right now, that's Pender's good pitch, best pitch right now.
And this is the pitcher, Diaz, so we've got some pitcher-on-pitcher action going on here.
So far it's 2 balls, no strikes.
Christian Diaz at the plate, Pender on the hill, 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. We got a 3-1 ball game. Pender kicks and fires. Ooh. That ball's off the hands on the swing just inside the knuckle area. Foul ball, strike number 1.
That ball came straight back and hit the umpire right in the mask.
Oh, and then he flexed.
He's flexing.
He's out there.
Ready to go.
He's showing him his muscles and his physique.
He flexed calling the strike, you know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, he showed those fast twitch muscles as he flexed. quicker than the strike call that he usually gives.
It's long, huh?
That's I pull a lung muscle when I flex like that anymore. There ain't much to flex anymore. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think you flex is a big old plate of enchiladas,
Yeah,
huh?
I'll flex some enchiladas. I kind of like them.
The red ones are the best, bro.
Mm-hmm. I concur.
Man.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here comes the pitch.
Breaking ball stays a little high.
Oh, and
no,
they
he called
ring
it a
him up.
strike.
It was like 5 seconds afterwards. So, anyway, that's the second strikeout for Diaz and another K for Pender.
That beautiful breaking ball. He can hit it on the inside corner and the outside corner so far.
I've got him at 8 strikeouts already in this game. And up comes Sebastian Arroyo. He had a fly-out single, or a fly single that we didn't catch.
Down for
Man,
5 seconds.
I'm telling you, he's like a 5-second. Down goes Arroyo.
Beautiful job there by Pender. We're going to give a shout out to our sponsors: Redbird Gas, David Energy, City of Eunice, Outlaw Grill, Eunice Public Schools, Cardinal Hardware and Lumber, Eunice Record and Rentals, Park Energy Service, Eunice Pump and Supply, and Eunice Health Clinic. Our proud sponsors of today's baseball game. Our first game of this Cardinal Classic, the 29th Cardinal Classic. A lot of us got to play. I got to play in this one.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir.
I never played I never played baseball for the Cardinals. When I was in high school, when I moved here, I loved baseball. I played baseball baseball was the first sport, first thing I ever played it all through school. Even played for Jimmy Gladden and the summer group here. But I never got to play school because my dad made us choose.
You were pretty good in track. I remember that.
Yeah, my brother was he was a track athlete. Went to college on a full ride track scholarship. So
I'm going to date myself here. I was an 8th grader. I qualified for state in the mile and the 2 mile.
oh yeah,
And I was warming up for the 1 mile in Albuquerque, right?
yeah.
State meet. And all of a sudden they said, have your attention, look over towards the pole. State record's going to be broken and set. And I look over and like, who is that skinny, scrawny? He looks like he's from Loving. And this old Jimmy Jones goes up there and set the state record. Remember that?
Yeah, I
Date ourselves. I was in 8th grade and you were like a junior, I think.
yeah, I'm junior, senior, something like that.
And you're like 10 years older than me, huh? Maybe 20?
I'm an old guy. Old guy. Yeah,
Elevator in here for you.
I enjoyed track. I still do. In fact, I'm of all the things my kids are involved in, I'm just about as passionate about track as I am about basketball.
You enjoy the field event or the running events?
I mean, I enjoy it all. In fact, working with Barry on these turtles and things. Chloe's been on vacation, so I got our Chloe. Yeah, she's out on the beach enjoying. First pitch to number 7. That's Aiden Pender.
Wow.
It was a ball 1. So Diaz back up there. And they got the FarmersOnly.com song playing next door. You ain't got to be lonely. You got FarmersOnly.com. So 2 balls, no strikes, no outs. 3-1 is the ball game. Pender singled at his first at bat. Up here for the second. Eunice needs to get these bats going and get this game a little more comfortable. Jal's already shown they've got that one swing power, and you don't want to leave a game this close.
No, you do not.
With a team like that, especially with that wind blowing like it is.
Blowing out.
2 balls, 1 strike to Aiden Pender. It's a little pitcher on pitcher action that we've got going here. Pender's been able to strike out Diaz twice in his at-bats. When Pender's been up, he's got a single so far, so let's see what he does here. The count is 3-1.
3-1 here. Do you give him the green light or do you give him the red light?
I'd probably green him just because he's a pitcher. I'm going to let him try to do what he thinks he needs to do up there. I'm not going to control him too much, but I'm not a baseball mind either.
There you go.
Takes that one inside, and he heads over to first base.
Let's see who's going to be his courtesy runner. Let's see. Same kid.
So they bring in
Colburn.
Brady Colburn heads over to first
He's
base.
already holding his heart, his helmet.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well, he's got that good hair, that Pert Plus curly hair.
He can. We'll buy some solution, whatever you got to put in there.
I mean, you know, if Vidal Sassoon, if you don't look good, we don't look good.
That's
If Brady can't keep that hat on and that wind gets blowing, it might mess his hairdo up. And he heads over to second. He's in there easily as he steals second base.
That should right there tell the Cardinals, you know what, the catcher does not have an arm, per se, and let's run. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So Braylon Jeter steps back in there. He's ready. 1 ball, no strikes to Jeter. Big leadoff by Coburn. Jeter drives that one over to third base. Third baseman looks Coburn back over, and then he throws it over to right field. Jeter turns heads for second, and Coburn heads for home. In comes Coburn. It's now a 4-1 ball game on the error.
Kid was holding his helmet as soon as he made that third, around third. I don't know why it's bugging me so much, but anyways.
So,
run here.
So I'll call that a single for Jeter. On my paperwork, they going to throw it a single. The turf that looks like dirt, but it's really turf.
That's beautiful.
You know, something I've noticed this year is it looks like the pitcher's mound is actually really turf this year as well.
Yeah.
And in the other field that we had, everything was turf, but the mound was dirt. They had to work on it. So how does that work in this? You know, I'm assuming that that's just dirt underneath there. So you would think after a while it would push down.
After every game, if you notice, you see the black little spots. They put more of that pellet stuff down.
Okay.
That way it can stay even grade.
Right.
So they kind of fill in the holes after they're made.
So they still have to go work it a little bit. Okay. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Count is 2-2, right?
Yep. Coy with a 2-2 count. He steps back in there. One of our proud sponsors is the Eunice Public Schools. Mr. Coy is on that board along with my partner here, Rosendo Caballero. Here comes the pitch. It's swung on and driven deep left, and it is
over but foul.
Out of the park, but foul.
Almost landed in his own property.
Yeah, he almost hit it out there. He can pick that up later on his side-by-side or his horse when he's gathering up some doggies.
Probably a side-by-side. There's a bunch of kids out there running around already, too. Where did we get that coffee from?
So Coy steps back in. Yeah, that guy just came in with a whole pack of coffees.
And that's his younger brother.
Oh, that is a Coy, huh?
Yes, sir. He's down for spring break.
Man, what's the deal with all these Coys and coffee?
The Hatfields ain't out.
The Hatfields and McCoys? Or the Coys? Without the MCs. All right.
Count is 3-2 now.
No outs. Runner is Jeter over on third. He takes a big lead. Here comes the pitch. And that is inside, and he heads over to first. And so runners at the corners, and we head back up to the top of the lineup. That's Alfredo Morales.
It's funny how we get real quiet until he makes the call, doesn't it?
Yep. So I had him at a fly RBI and then a single. So he's back up for the 3rd time this time around.
He hit a shot towards shortstop, if I'm not mistaken.
And they throw that ball.
On, Jeter,
it gets away.
Jeter.
Here comes Jeter running down the... He slides in there Pete Rose style on his belly, and he's safe.
The bad thing about there, beautiful job by Jeter. It's a young man out there at the second. He could have made it all the way to third. He didn't pick up the coach in timely manner to get to third, but oh well.
So the runner does advance over to second. We've got a 5-1 game, and Jal's their coach gonna come out and talk to Diaz a little bit. Could see a pitcher change here.
That being said, give a shout out to our sponsors. Eunice Health Clinic, Eunice Pump and Supply, Park Energy Service, Eunice Wrecker and Rentals, Cardinal Hardware and Lumber, Eunice Public Schools, Outlaw Grill, the City of Eunice, Redbird Gas, and Devon Energy Correct are proud sponsors of today's game, maybe all weekend.
Yep.
So
yep. I'll get a better updated list maybe tomorrow during the day from TJ.
It probably won't change much, but thank you for that.
Yep. And so Eunice now puts another run on the board. It's 5-1 is the score out there on the big board.
They kept the same pitcher.
Yes, they did. Had a little conversation with the whole team out on the mound. Looked like they took some football and basketball pictures out there while they were there, and now they head back into the dugout. And the Cardinals back ready to go. Jonathan Caballero at the plate.
No, that's Alfredo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Alfredo Morales. I don't know why, but I was thinking that
Jonathan's on deck. That's probably what you've seen.
maybe. So Morales back in there. As I mentioned, he's got a fly-out RBI and a single. He steps in there. He's ready. Drives that one over toward third. They miss it. And here comes that runner headed home, and they throw it to third. And so Morales with another single and an RBI.
Beautiful job there. A little bit hit and run there, and their shortstop, big number 24, couldn't get all the way down and field that ball. And that lets the runner from second come all the way home and score.
So Jonathan Caballero heads to the plate. He's got a single, and then he was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Runner at first. There goes the runner. He's headed over, and they're not even going to throw it. And so he easily steals second.
And that was a delay strike called on there, John.
Oh, did they call that
Yes,
a
sir.
strike? Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a 20-minute delay strike.
Man. All right. Jonathan Caballero steps in there. He's in the right-handed batter's box. He's ready. The pitch by
That's
Diaz.
strike number 2.
Oh, yeah. He did call it. Once again, that's a delay
Also,
call.
he's being patient up there. He usually jumps on the first pitch.
So 0-2 is the count here. Caballero, as we mentioned, is a single, and he was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, so he's been on base both times. He steps in there. He's ready. Here comes a huge breaking ball that...
The catcher stands up, man.
Yes. Yeah, it throws even the catcher off.
Yeah. As big as he is.
Well, when that catcher stands up, that ump can't see nothing but an eclipse. Because, I mean, that's a big catcher. I mean, how big old boy are you? I'm a big old boy. All right, he drives over toward first base. They're kind of confused after who's going to get it. Caballero hustling down. Oh, and they call him out at first, but it's going to score a run.
That's a little RBI there. I guess
So,
a sacrifice, right?
Yeah. So that's an interesting RBI for sure. I'll put on here an RBI.
And he hit that right on the tip of the
Roundout.
bat because he's so ahead of it. That's why he keeps pulling it. He
Yep.
keeps his hands back just a little bit, but we'll take it. Making the score to 6 or 7
to 1.
Dang, I'm that far
7 to
behind.
1.
I've been enjoying the game. Huh?
So next up is Chance Tucker. I've got him at a flyout and a strikeout, and he takes strike number 1.
That's weird. Normally, Chance and Jonathan are pretty aggressive up there. And
Yeah.
he's seen that pitch go by. It seems kind of weird, unless they were instructed. Maybe to get that pitcher up his pitch count.
Maybe just take it. Yeah. All right. So here goes Tucker again. That ball's low and inside for ball number 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Eunice finally getting the bats going a little bit as they've put 4 runs on the board here in this inning.
Yeah. And I'm breathing very hard. I don't know why. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I thought I was running for a second.
There's an inside pitch for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Speaking of running, I've been coming up here and doing some hurdle work with the kids, as I mentioned, and I've been trying to do a little running. And man, I didn't realize how old I was till I started trying to run some laps around that track.
I need some clarification. You're doing the hurdling, or you're watching?
No,
them
I've
hurling?
been doing. Ask them. I've been coming up here and doing some hurdling with them, but
I won't come record just in case you fall.
then I've had to not get out of bed for 2 days because my hips and knees and ankles don't want to work. But
Man.
that's right. That's right. Them joints just don't work like they used to.
Some fish.
I take some every day, like a gallon. Drinking that stuff, like.
Get out there and finally calls them off. Good job out there by a young man. Give credit where credit's due.
So the cleanup batter, Bubba Cerna, number 20. As I mentioned earlier, I've got my notes on him all mixed up. I've got fly, double, RBI, strikeout. So I don't know what all that means, but that's what he's done so far.
And not in that order.
My little shorthand that I can't understand. And he drives that one down the third base
He's
line.
there.
They get a great play there and throw it over toward first, but he's easily going to get there.
Bubba needs to speed up a little bit, boss. I didn't think he'll make it.
So
But he got there.
Single for Cerna. He hit it right in between third base and short. And the shortstop, which is Carrion, he's a big old boy as well. He was on his horse, and he got over there and scooped that ball up, but he was deep into left field, basically, by the time he scooped it up and threw it. And the runner's going to take off, and easily he walks into second.
Don't even have to slide on that one.
Yep.
Stand up stolen base there. You'd figure that ball was kind of deep, but Carrion is a quarterback. I figured he'd get that ball a little stronger.
Well, they don't throw it much down in Jowell. They just snap it to him and he runs it.
I agree.
So he ran way over there and showed those legs.
I forgot about that. That is true.
All right. They throw that ball low and inside. This is Billy Blevins at the plate.
2 balls on him.
Blevins has got a line out and a strikeout so far.
And keep in mind, Blevins has been playing basketball, so this is his second game, so I don't think he's had that much practice. Bear with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Him and Calvillo,
So here's the pitch. And you got to understand, and I know you do, but you got to understand, most of these baseball players for Eunice, most of them don't play basketball. So they start practicing back in like December. And so most of these guys have got tons of time out here, getting ready.
Of all the sports, baseball is the one that you mostly have to have the most rhythm. And get in there and start feeling it, seeing pitches.
It's funny because I agree with you. It takes a lot of rhythm. It takes a lot of work. And there's a walk there by Blevins that'll send him over to first. I'm a strong believer that we need that same sort of thing in basketball to be competitive year in and year out. In football, we start practicing in the summer. And we practice all the way until our first game, usually somewhere around the beginning of September. Mm-hmm. In baseball, we start practicing in December.
And we noticed that this year in basketball, as runners advance to second and third, McBee started doing a little bit of summer stuff, and we've seen it here towards the end of the
season. Summer stuff and even some preseason, like off-season work. And there is a drive toward right field, right at the right fielder. He barely had to move. Calvillo with a nice shot, but he's going to line out, and that's going to send us over to the top of the fifth. The score is 7-1, and as we were talking about with that stuff, McBee started kind of an off-season program, and you can kind of see that success off of it. That has been something that I have talked about a lot down here over the last several years. Hobbs, for example, and I know we're not Hobbs, but Hobbs, for example, they play basketball, of course, all summer, and then at the beginning of school, all their basketball kids are in an athletic period, and they're practicing all the way up until basketball starts. So they work, and as you can see with us in baseball, there's a big upside to that, and so I think we've kind of maybe slowly nudged the right direction.
And it's progress.
Yeah.
We just got to be patient. You got to be patient. We got to keep that up.
I'll be dead by the time I keep being patient for too long. I'll mess around and be in the cast
next year, boss.
All right. So Pender back on the hill after throwing ball one. He throws that one down the middle. It's fouled off for strike one.
Batter number 3 from Jowell. Let me get this open here.
That is 1-1. Win. Got him as a ground out at his first at bat. Once again, this is our first game, so we're a little rusty. He swings at that one for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And baseball's a little bit different. I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 buttons I got to keep track of.
Yeah, on that thing, yes, for sure.
And you got a lot of airtime. Yeah, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because that ball's kind of moving.
Yeah.
I wasn't being funny or anything, but it's kind of hard. It's a lot easier in softball.
Yeah. So there's an inside pitch for ball 2. No.
It's 1-1. He swung out the first one.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We got a 7-1 ball game here. We're in the 5th inning.
Oh, the string on that one, huh?
1 ball, 2 strikes. So this is number 2, Connor Andre. He steps in there. He's ready to go.
Back in the day, huh? That was crazy graphics, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson had a huge head in it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Them guys you was fighting was up in there making little dances and stuff. You had to hit them in just the right spot, and they'd freeze up a minute so you could whack them a couple more times.
This is old school. All you had was button A and B, and that's it.
That's right, A, B, and a little arrow. So 1 ball, no strikes here to Damian Baeza. Got him with a single already in this game. So he steps up. He's ready. Here comes the pitch.
Ooh, nice spot. Outside corner.
Yep, they call it on the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. On a cold, windy day here in Eunice, New Mexico. Expected snow, possibly Sunday, Monday in that area. Crazy.
back to school, right?
I don't know if they've changed that forecast the last 24 hours or so, but the last time I looked, it was showing Sunday, Monday possible snow. I was like, what the heck?
They might be delayed.
Man, we might have to suspend school for a day or two. There's a drive into left field over toward the left fielder. He's running up, comes in and scoops it off the turf. Good catch there by the left fielder. Alfredo Morales.
Cartel name.
Yeah.
Beautiful job coming in, playing with the wind, getting that ball in the air, and getting out number 3. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, give a shout out to our sponsors: Eunice Wrecker and Rentals, Park Energy Service, Eunice Pump and Supply, Eunice Health Clinic, Arnold Hardware and Lumber, Eunice Public Schools, Outlaw Grill, the City of Eunice, Redbird Gas, and Devon Energy. No runs were scored there, so the score remains 7-1 here in the bottom of the 5th as Eunice plays the Jow Panthers here in the 29th Cardinal Classic.
That's a lot of Cardinal Classics.
Yes, sir. On this new turf.
That's all the way back like when I was in school.
Or maybe even further.
I don't think it's any further, is it? I don't know. Yeah, maybe a little further.
We'll see.
That's around my time.
Around your time. I like how you said, around my time. Yeah, a lot of baseball here tonight. And all weekend. Tonight kicked off today, tomorrow all day, and then Saturday. I think just a couple of games Saturday. So, come out here. The concession stand's open. Get yourself a hamburger, some nachos, some pickles.
You get you a hamburger and nachos tonight, you might get a Sandy burger or a Sandy nacho. It might be a little crunchy because it's a little cold and windy out there.
Get a frozen pickle, huh?
That's right.
So,
frozen pickles.
They're playing some MC Hammer, aren't they?
No, is that Hammer?
Yeah, that's Hammer.
That is Hammer, huh?
Now you remember dancing those back in the Hammer
telling
Con, huh?
I used to do the too legit to quit. Too legit.
You had
too
to, man. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, you danced and did the too legit.
Can you do the whole...
I can do the whoa, the slide. Well, I could. I probably play nowadays. But
I can see you doing the electric slide.
It was in like the 70s.
Yeah, singing that Boys and Men.
Yes, that's not 70s. Anyway,
it is for me.
70 Boys to Men. That's my day. That's good stuff. Boys to Men.
You're probably a big old R. Kelly fan too, weren't you?
Well, I liked him right up until he started doing weird stuff.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get rich, famous.
All right, and 2 straight pitches are balls. 2. What is this?
Aiden Pinder.
All right, we got Pinder back up. He's got a single and a walk here.
This is the 3rd inning. We come out. He's up the bat. So.
He is a little pitcher. But Colburn is no Edgar.
Well, what is that?
I don't know what
Billy
that
Joe
is.
Ray?
Maybe a Billy Ray Cyrus, but he's no Edgar.
Oh, okay.
There's a high fly ball driven up over the catcher. Catcher never could find it. It hits the ground.
So the runner has to come back as he was trying to attempt to go to second base.
He's running back holding his helmet. We may get him a chin strap.
Yeah.
We got chin straps around.
If his dad ain't here, you know his dad's listening to us. You know that.
Yes, absolutely. We may have to... You know, Rance, if you're listening, you may need to get that boy a chin strap so he don't have to hold his helmet when he runs.
Or some duct tape.
They throw back over, get Colburn to slide in. First baseman does a good job saving that one as it skipped off the ground.
I like those uniforms from Jow. That bright yellow reminds me of summer ball when I used to play. They had the blue and the gold team.
Oh, yeah?
That's what the gold team looked like. There you go.
There goes Colburn. The ball's hit over toward third. They misplay it, and that is going to get both runners safely advanced.
Scoring position there for the Eunice Cardinals as Jeter hits a shot towards third base. Couldn't handle it, and he sprints down to first to be safe. And we got Coy.
So Tyson Coy, the 9th batter, heads up. I've got him as an RBI, fielder's choice, and a walk.
I was afraid of that.
He squared around, gonna fake the bunt.
And he pulled back as the ball was way outside for about 1.
And the runner advanced.
We probably square him up again here. Bunt towards first base. Make him commit.
The bat back up to the top of the lineup, Alfredo Morales. This young man's got a fly RBI, single RBI is what I show him at. Pass ball is going to advance the runner. Coy slides into third. Looked like he was sliding in there getting ready to tie some goats or something the way he slid. Slid in there, popped up, looked like a calf or something. And then,
I thought he was going to throw Drew down, tie him up.
Me too. He'll throw. And so Morales with an RBI single.
We have no outs, neither.
So that'll send Jonathan Caballero, listening to some Ice Cube, "It Was a Good Day," back up to the plate.
Got that song from? That's probably Mom's playlist, I bet.
That's probably some of them uncles. Some rowdy uncles.
That's true.
Nobody else.
This is
All right. That's right. All right. So 11-1 is the final here as Eunice. Game of the Cardinal Classic. Who do we play tomorrow?
I believe we play Kermit.
Okay. And I know the Kermit coaching staff was asking about watching this game, so we may have done ourselves a favor by having a bad signal and bad broadcast here. Might have kept them from being able to scout. Who knows? With that said, Eunice wins our first broadcast of the season. Shout out to our sponsors. We appreciate you. At the TJ and them. We will later.
Service.